Question 630. In relation to property description, what is a check? Answer. A check is a square 24 miles on each side created by intersecting guide meridians and correction lines. That's 24 miles is the size of a check. Question 631. What is the Civil Rights Act of 1866? Answer. Under this act, it is without exception illegal to discriminate in housing on the basis of race or color. Question 632. What is concurrency? Answer. A provision from Florida's Growth Policy Act requiring that certain infrastructure, sanitary sewers, potable water, and waste treatment facilities, and other things be in place before any new development is permitted. What is a contract for deed? Answer. Contract for deed, also called a land contract, is a sales contract in which the buyer pays the seller for the property in multiple installments for a predetermined length of time, and the seller holds the title until the property has been fully paid for, also known as installment sales contract. Question 633. What is the cost depreciation approach? Answer. It's the method of estimating value of a property by determining how much it would cost to replace the building or other improvements minus the cost of depreciation plus the value of the land. Question 634. What is a datum? D-A-T-U-M. Answer. A designated base reference point to elevation used by surveyors to determine the elevations of land or property in an area. Question 635. With respect to condos, what is the declaration? The answer. It's the legal document that, once filed, creates a condominium. In Florida, one of the required condo documents. Question 636. What is the defeasance clause? Answer. The defeasance clause in a security document that indicates that the loan has been satisfied and that either the title will be conveyed to the borrower or the lien on the borrower's title will be removed. Question 637. What is a designated sales associate? The answer. A designated sales associate is designated by the broker to serve as a single agent for the parties in an in-house, non-residential transaction at the request of the parties. Question 638. What is disintermediation in regards to banking? The answer. Disintermediation is the process of money flowing out of banks. Question 639. What is the equity of redemption? Answer. The equity of redemption is that a borrower in default has the right to pay an entire mortgage plus fees and regain the property before foreclosure. Question 640. What is an estate for years? Answer. It is a lease with a specific starting and ending date, also known as a tenancy for years. Question 641. What is an estoppel certificate? The answer. It is a written statement certifying the specifics of a mortgage used during loan assumption. Question 642. What is an exclusive agency listing? Answer. It is an agreement in which the seller has an exclusive relationship with a broker, but retains the right to sell the property themselves. Question 643. For tax purposes, what is an exempt property? The answer. An exempt properties are properties that belong to churches and nonprofits. They may be subject to taxes, but the property owner is not obligated to pay them, which is different than an immune property, which would be like a government building. Question 644. What is the Fair Housing Act of 1968 and what are its protected classes? The answer. It is a federal law that prohibits discrimination in housing based upon race, color, religion, national origin, and was amended to include sex, disability, and familial status. Question 645. What constitutes a Florida resident? The answer. Florida resident is a person who has resided, regardless of whether the place or base of residence is a recreational vehicle, hotel, rental unit, or any other temporary or permanent situs, in Florida continuously for a period of 4 calendar months or more within the preceding year. Question 646. What is a freehold estate? The answer. It is a form of ownership with an indeterminate length. Question 647. What is a general partnership? The answer: it is a business entity consisting of two or more parties in which all co-owners actively share power, responsibilities, and profit. Question 648. What is a business's going concern value? The answer: the going concern value is the value of a business, including the intangible assets like goodwill. Question 649. What is the government survey system of land recording? Answer: it is a system of legal land description that uses the global lines of longitude and latitude to create a surveyed grid of meridians, baselines, townships, and ranges to describe a piece of land. Question 650. What is the granting clause in a deed? The answer: the granting clause is the section of the deed identifying the property to be conveyed, the grantor, the grantee, and the grantor's promise to transfer title to the grantee, also known as words of conveyance. Question 651. What is the gross income multiplier? The answer: it is the ratio of the price of the instrument property to its annual total income before considering expenses like taxes and insurance. Question 652. What is the gross rent multiplier? The answer: it is the ratio of a price of investment property to its annual rental income before considering expenses like taxes and insurance. Question 653. What is a group license? The answer: a group license is a license that allows a sales associate or broker associate to conduct real estate transactions for multiple entities owned by the same owner-developer. Question 654. What is in the habendum clause? The answer: in the habendum clause within a deed, it clarifies the type and extent of interest conveyed by the granting clause. Question 655. What is an installment sale? The answer: it is when the buyer pays the seller for a property in predetermined chunks for a predetermined length of time, and the seller holds the title until the property has been fully paid for, also known as a contract for deed. Question 656. What is intermediation? The answer: it is the facilitation by a third party of a financial transaction between two parties. Question 657. What is an interpleader? The answer: it's when a court procedure meant to resolve a dispute when a party holds funds they know they do not own, but to which multiple other parties lay claim. Question 658. What is joint tenancy? The answer: it's co-ownership in which the parties have an equal and undivided interest in the property. Includes the right of survivorship rather than inheritance. Question 659. What is a lien theory state? The answer: it is a state where employing security instruments that allow the borrower to retain title while the lender places a lien on the property to secure the loan. Question 660. What is a limited liability company? The answer: it's a business entity in which parties are protected against personal liability for business debts. Question 661. What is a limited liability partnership? The answer: it is a business entity in which parties are protected from some liabilities while retaining other liabilities. Question 662. What is a limited partnership? The answer: it's a business entity composed of both general and limited partners, where the general partners manage the business and assume most of the risk, while the limited partners are passive investors with limited risk. Question 663. What is the meets and bounds survey system? The answer: it's a land survey process in which a licensed land surveyor starts at a readily identifiable point of beginning and defines the boundaries of a property in terms of distances and compass directions, finally returning to the point of beginning. Question 664. In reference to land description, what is a monument? The answer: a fixed landmark whether natural or human-made, used as a reference point in a metes and bounds legal description. Question 665. What is non-conforming use of a property? The answer: it's a type of land use that occurs when a property was operating within zoning law, but then the law changed in a way that prohibits the established use. Question 666. What is a notice of non-compliance? The answer: it is issued by the DPR for a first-time minor violation by a licensee. Question 667. What is novation? The answer: it's a mutual agreement of the parties to replace an existing contract with a new one, often because there is also an agreement to substitute one party for another in the new contract, and it results in transference of rights and obligations from one assigner to assignee. Question 668. What is a professional association? The answer: it is two or more individuals who come together as a business corporation to provide a professional service to others. Question 669. What is a proprietary lease? The answer: it's a long-term and exclusive lease given to a resident and stock owner of a cooperative building. It's what you get when you have a co-op. Question 670. What is the definition of real estate? Answer: it's the land plus improvements. Question 671. What is the definition of real property? The answer: it's the land from the surface to the center of the earth and upwards into space, and all attachments and the bundle of legal rights of ownership. Question 672. What is a receivership clause? The answer: it's a clause that allows a lender to take the income from an investment property that is in default and apply it to the mortgage. Question 673. What is the recommended order? Answer: it is issued by an administrative law judge to the FREC, and it includes their findings and recommended penalty. Question 674. What is the right of survivorship? The answer: it's the statutory principle of survivorship tenancy that provides that when one co-owner dies, their ownership interest reverts to the surviving co-owners. Question 675. In regards to property description, what is a section? The answer: it is one of 36 equal square miles in a township. Question 676. What is a subordination agreement in regards to loans? The answer: it is when a contract that gives a mortgage recorded at a later date priority over a previously recorded mortgage. Question 677. What is a summary/emergency suspension order? Answer: it is issued when the serious nature of a violation justifies suspending a license holder prior to their hearing. Question 678. What is tenancy by the entirety? The answer: it's ownership by a married couple. It requires the 5 unities, including the unity of person. Question 679. What is tenancy in common? The answer: it's co-ownership with individual undivided interest in the property and includes right of inheritance rather than survivorship. Question 680. What is a tier? The answer: it's the area of land between 2 consecutive baselines. Question 681. What is title theory? Answer: in title theory states, conveying the title to the lender, or more commonly to a third-party trustee operating on behalf of the lender for the life of the loan. Question 682. What is a township? The answer: a square area of land with sides of 6 miles each, consisting of 36 square mile sections, and identified in reference to a meridian and baseline in the rectangular survey system.